Alrighty, chicos, bienvenidos a otro El Puzzle. Aquí estamos con tener y venir. Today, we're going to be talking about, made my mouth a little smaller there, tener and venir. Okay, today we're going to be talking about tener and venir, so you need to abre el cuaderno, sí, abre el cuaderno, y escribe apuntes. Okay, you're going to take some notes today while we talk about tener and venir, so if you do not already have your cuaderno out, please get it out. We're talking about these two verbs that are un poco irregular. See, un poco irregular, meaning they're a little bit irregular. They don't follow the regular pattern. Notice, though, this is an ER verb and an IR verb. So keep that in mind as we progress today. Please note, you do not necessarily need to upload a picture of your notes. However, you are going to apply what you learn here to your GimKit practice after this. So do take some notes. Here we go. Tener, chicos, repítame, tener. Tener means to have, okay? Literally, tener means to have. So we're going to conjugate this verb, conjugate it just like we do our other ER verbs, except it's a little bit different. See, un poco diferente. So go ahead and write yourself out a whole chart just like this. If you are comfortable with your subject pronouns, you don't necessarily need to write all these things in parentheses here, but if you would like to, go ahead, be my guest. So, this is an ER verb. So regularly, we would take away the ER, right? Remove the ER and replace it. What would we replace it with in the yo form? That's right, O. So you would think that this word right here is teno, right? Teno. However, we do not say teno, rather tengo. Sí, repítame. Tengo. Tengo would mean I have, okay? I have. So that's in the O form. In the to form, again, we would take away the ER and we replace it with the ES, but it is not tenes, rather tienes, okay? Tienes. Tengo, tienes. Up next, tiene. Notice a pattern here. Nosotros. Don't say tienemos because it's actually regular, nothing crazy happening here. We don't need to do the IE. We can just say tenemos, vosotros, tenéis, y ellos, ellas, ustedes, tienen. Okay, so there are two things happening here. I want you to tell me between this one, this one, this one, and this one, what's different? What's different from our regular ER endings? Okay, what's different? This part, I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with the 10. Tell me. Okay, in the O form, we got the GO, right? I kind of told you that at the beginning. In the O form, not just O, but GO, right? Tango. In the two, in the LA usted and the EOS as usted, notice the green underline there is not tenes, tenen. It is tienes, tienen. Okay, that's why these ones are a little bit different. Tener is a little bit different. But notice, nosotros and vosotros follow the same pattern. There is no ie happening here. It's just tenemos, tenéis. So repeat after me. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen. For I have, you have, we have, he has, she has, etc., etc. Okay, this is the verb tener. Moving to the right with the verb venir. Venir means to come. Repítame. Venir, venir. So again, here's our chart, and you'll see there are some underlines there. I wonder why. Okay, so take a guess. Take a guess. What do you think if there's a green underline here and we're talking about tener and venir? What do you think is going to go in the yo form? That's right. Vengo. See, vengo meaning I come. See, and if you are a native speaker, if you know native speakers, or maybe your parents speak Spanish, or maybe your grandparents speak Spanish, you might have heard the word ven. Ven aquí, right? They'll say, come here. Ven. That's where this word, that's ven comes from venir. Venir means to come. Ven is a command saying, get over here, come here. See, vengo though means I come. Notice over here, another green underline. So follow the same pattern. Follow the same pattern as tener. What is the word gonna be? Vienes, sí, vienes. Él, usted, viene, nosotros, Careful, because this is an IR verb now. Venimos, see, because this is an IR verb. Vosotros venís, and ellos, ustedes vienen, see, vienen. So again, following the same pattern as the tener conjugations. The only difference here, this is an IR verb, so you got to be careful. And the nosotros and the vosotros form not hemos or es, but imos and is. But again, notice we got the GO and we got the IEs. So be careful, be careful, be careful. I come, he comes, she comes, we come, they come, etc., etc., etc. Okay? We're moving on, though. Moving on. Those are the only two verb conjugations you're going to learn today, because again, they're a little bit different, right? It's an ER and an IR verb, but a little bit different. So what we're going to talk about now are some expressions with tener. In certain idiomatic or set expressions in Spanish, you use the construction tener plus noun. So follow with me here, guys. Tener means to have. So if we have to have plus a noun, you're saying, I have a book, right? But these expressions sometimes can mean they express, not literally, but figuratively, to be plus an adjective, okay? So think in your English head, to be something, to be something, to be something. But literally now, literally, we are saying to have something, okay? But in English, the translation is not direct. The translation is to have something. So keep that in mind with these expressions, okay? You're going to want to write these next few down because they are vocabulary terms that I'm going to expect you to know by the time you are quizzed next week Thursday, next week Friday, depending on if you're odd or even class. Here we go. So I show you the picture. You think to be what? This one's a little tricky, okay? But you've heard it before, probably. Tener something años, chicos. To be blank years old, okay? Literally, we are saying to have number of years, okay? So right here where there's a blank, you're gonna put the number, okay? The number of your age or somebody's age. So if I said ella tiene 5 años, ella tiene 5 años. Literally, I'm saying she has 5 years. Figuratively, I'm saying she is 5 years old. Okay, notice the difference there. Figuratively, she is 5 years old. Literally, she has 5 years. Okay, so if I ask you, ¿cuántos años tienes? ¿Cuántos años tienes tú? I'm asking you, how old are you? See, so if you were to reply, we're always going to say, yo tengo, or just tengo, right? Tengo, blah, 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 años. Tengo, so number, años. I have this many years. I am this many years old, okay? So be careful there. Be careful. Next, tener mucho calor, to be very hot. Temperature, guys, temperature. Repítame, tener mucho calor. The mucho coming in as this very, okay? But literally, we're not saying to be very hot. Literally, we're saying to have a lot of heat. I have a lot of heat. I am hot, right? So figuratively, tener calor, to be hot. Literally, to have heat. Okay, tener mucho calor. Hoy no tengo mucho calor. Tengo frío. Sí, tengo frío. Hace frío hoy. Tener calor, to be hot. To be hot. Make sure you put that mucho there too. If it's very, we got to make sure we use a mucho. Cuidado, piso mojado. You might have seen this before on those little yellow signs on the ground. Cuidado, piso mojado. Cuidado, watch out, be careful. Floor wet, piso mojado, wet floor. See, wet floor. So the word here, the phrase, the idiomatic expression is tener mucho cuidado. Repítame, tener mucho cuidado. To be very careful, okay? To be very careful. To have a lot of caution, literally, to have a lot of caution. To be very careful, okay? Tienes mucho cuidado. Are you very careful? Okay, to be very careful. If I go too fast, guys, pause me. Okay, the opposite of tener calor, tener frío. See, acento sobre la I, chicos. Acento sobre la I. Careful, there's an accent on that I. Tener mucho frío. To be very cold. Notice again, I have the word mucho, not muy. Okay, muy does mean very, but remember, literally, we're saying a lot. To have a lot of coldness, right? To have a lot of cold. Tener mucho frío. To be very cold. Tener mucho frío. Hoy yo tengo mucho frío. Sí, hace frío hoy. Everybody's favorite, always. Yo tengo mucha hambre. Sí, tener, repítame, tener mucha hambre. To be very hungry. Ooh, do you notice a difference between this word and the words that you've seen earlier for the word very? What do you notice is special about that? Hopefully you said mucha. See, mucha, not mucho. Why? Why is it mucha? Well, think about it. This word, hambre, is feminine, right? It is la, if I can do this, la hambre. See, the hunger, literally, the hunger. I have a lot of hunger, is literally what I'm saying. I am very hungry. See, I am very hungry. Tengo mucha hambre. See, mucha hambre. Moving on. Tener mucho miedo de. See, to be very afraid or to be very scared. Let me screw this down. Of. There it is. Okay. Tener mucho miedo de. To be very afraid, to be very scared of, in parentheses. Because you're not always afraid, like, you're afraid of the dark, right? Tener miedo de la oscuridad, of the dark. You don't necessarily always need the day, though. That's just there just in case. But tener mucho miedo, to be very afraid or scared, okay? Mucho miedo de. Tener mucho miedo de. To be very afraid or scared of. Make sure you're writing these things down, guys. Up next, this guy is rushing out the door. Therefore, he is in a big hurry. See, in a big hurry. To be in a big hurry. Tener mucha prisa. Tener mucha prisa. To have a lot of hurry. No, to have a lot of, like, you're on it, you're quick, you need to get out of there. See, tener mucha prisa. To be in a big hurry. Remember, literally, to have, but figuratively, to be in a big hurry. Tener mucha prisa. Okay, this one's my favorite. Everybody loves it. Are there 4 blocks or are there 3 blocks? And if your eyes are deceiving you, it's okay. It's okay, guys. Tener razón. Who is right? Is this guy right or is this guy right? Tener razón. Tener razón. Repítame. Razón. To be right. To be right. Tener razón. Who is right? And if you're staring at this thing still, it's okay. I'll give you a hint. They're both right. So the next one, not to be right, but to be wrong. No tener razón. Oh, so easy, right? No tener razón, to be wrong. Tener razón, to be right. No tener razón, to be wrong. Guys, in case you're like trying to figure this out, it's one line, all connected. The whole thing is all connected. It's just, I forget what they're called. It's messing with your eyes. There's a word for this. Somebody tell me. Okay. No tener razón, to be wrong. Up next, not tener hambre, not to be hungry, but to be thirsty. See, tener mucha sed. Tener mucha sed. Repítame, sed. Tener sed, to be thirsty. Tener mucha sed, to be very thirsty. And again, guys, check it out, check it out. Mucha, which means this word sed is feminine. See, la sed, la sed. To have a lot of thirst. To have a lot of thirst. To be very thirsty. Tener mucha sed. Oh, all of you, every day at 8 in the morning, or sometimes even 11 in the morning, I don't know. Tener mucho sueño. Repítame, tener mucho sueño. Sueño, to be very sleepy, to have a lot of sleeps. Literally dreams, okay? Sueños are also dreams. Tener mucho sueño, to be very sleepy. To be very sleepy. Tener mucho sueño. Notice this one is a mucho again because sueño is masculine. See, sueño is masculine. So if I wanted to say, I am very sleepy, I am very sleepy. Tengo mucho sueño. See, tengo mucho sueño. This one right here. Luck. I say this to you every day, every time before you take an assessment in my class. I say, buena suerte, good luck. So if you tener mucha suerte, you are very lucky, right? To be very lucky, to have a lot of luck, literally. Mucha, again, careful, feminine here. Tener mucha suerte, to be very lucky, to have a lot of luck. So how would I say we are very lucky? We are very lucky. That would be tenemos mucha suerte. Sí, tenemos mucha suerte. And the last one, guys, the last one, tener ganas de. Okay, it's right here. I just use it. It's really hard to find a picture for this. So if somebody uses this phrase, tener ganas de, literally they're saying to feel like. I feel like something. I feel like doing this. I feel like doing that. This guy tiene ganas de comer una hamburguesa. If this guy feels like eating a hamburger, right? He feels like to eat. He feels like eating a hamburger. Okay, so this phrase, tener ganas de, it means to feel like. You just write that down. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. We're going to practice this. Tener ganas de, to feel like. So let's take a look at this example. If we are asking people, and you just wrote this down, guys, to feel like doing something, if they are feeling like doing something, we use this expression, tener ganas de plus infinitive. Okay, it's kind of a formula. So make sure you write this formula down. We always say tener ganas de plus infinitive. You don't need to write this to feel like down. You already did. But if you want to, you can. Tener ganas de plus infinitive. And what is an infinitive? What is an infinitive? Thank you very much. It ends with AR, ER, or IR. It's our to do something, right? Our to action words, our verbs. So if I ask you, ¿tienes ganas de comer? Do you, and I know I'm talking to you because it's ES, right? Do you feel like eating? Do you feel like eating? And the answer might be no. Tengo ganas de correr, which I would never say, but maybe you do. No, tengo ganas de correr. No, I feel like running. Do you feel like eating? No, I feel like running. Notice here we have tienes because I'm asking you. Here I have tengo because I'm telling myself, I'm saying I, right? I feel like. And also notice on the side there, we got comer and we got correr. Eating, running. Literally, these do mean to eat, right? To run. But in this case, because it's coming after this word, which is a preposition de, do you feel like, do you have the desire to, right? To eat, to run, etc., etc. Okay, so it's always going to follow up with an infinitive here. Do you feel like eating? No, I feel like running. Okay, so notice the structure there. So if I ask you this question, ¿tienes ganas tú? ¿Tienes ganas de descansar? ¿Tienes ganas de descansar? How would you answer that? You tell me in that ed puzzle. ¿Tienes ganas de descansar? I would say sí, tengo ganas de descansar. Sí. And the very last thing, guys, very last thing that you are going to learn with this verb tener is the have to formula. Write this down. The have to formula. It is expressing having to do something, right? Kind of like necesitar, to need to. Okay, but this is to have to. They're different, just like in English, right? You need to do this versus you have to do this. They are synonymous, but two different words, just like in Spanish. So if we're saying somebody has to do something, we're going to use this formula. Write it down. Tener, más que, más infinitivo or infinitive. Okay. Tener, más que, más infinitivo, infinitive. Tener plus que plus infinitive. That is your formula. Write it down. What do I mean by this? You got to have every piece of the puzzle. Tener first, then a que, then the infinitive, back to back to back in that order. So if I ask you, ¿qué tienes que estudiar hoy? ¿Qué tienes que estudiar hoy? And then you respond, tengo que estudiar biología. First of all, what is this question asking us? ¿Qué tienes que estudiar hoy? ¿Qué? Think about what does that word que mean? Tienes que estudiar hoy. It's asking, what do you have to study today? See, and you're applying with, I have to study biology. Yo tengo que estudiar biología. I have to do this, right? Because I'm asking you, tienes, and you're replying, yo tengo, I have to. So notice the structure though, guys. The structure is the same. Tener, we got our tener right here. Then we got our que right there. And then we got our infinitive right there. Infinitives ending with er, ar, or ir. There it is. Tienes que estudiar. You have to study. What, though, right? What do you have to study today? I have to study biology. Ta-da! Okay, they're not overly crazy. They're not overly complicated. You just gotta follow the structure for having to do something. Tener plus que plus infinitive. Ta-da! And my last question I'll be asking you. Tienes que estudiar tu vocabulario nuevo, which means new. ¿Tienes que estudiar tu vocabulario nuevo? You should all be responding with the same answer here. ¿Tienes que estudiar tu vocabulario nuevo? Do you have to study your new vocab? Sí. Claro que sí, señorita Hamilton. Sí. Okay, last thing. Oh, I need to erase this. Last thing. Vamos a practicar un poco on your Ed puzzle. You're going to answer the following questions. You're going to fill in the blank with the correct conjugative verb. First with venir, then with tener. Okay, so this first round, you're going to pick multiple choice. Some of them fill in the blank. Mis padres, conjugate venir, conjugate venir, conjugate venir, conjugate venir, conjugate venir, conjugate venir. Okay? You're filling in the blank. We're conjugating the verb. Giving you some time now to do just that. Okay, now we're going to try it out with tener. Tener, same thing. Conjugating tener. Conjugating tener. Tener. But conjugate it changes depending on the person, right? And look at the translation. They have two siblings because tener means to have. So take some time to conjugate those verbs. Alrighty, and the last thing, guys, no te olvides, don't forget, you don't forget. You're going to go ahead and go back to Google Classroom right after this. You're going to complete the game kit practice on TENER expansions. Okay, that's the other half of this 20-point assignment right here. 10 points for doing this, 10 points for doing that. That is all on TENER expressions. So you cannot have done this without, you can't do that without doing this first. Practicing those TENER expressions. Also, don't forget, guys, you're going to be quizzed on your ER and IR verbs, which we learned last 2 weeks, and TENER and VENIR next week. Thursday for my evens, Friday for my odds. So please start studying all those verbs and all those conjugations. Don't be like Jeff Winger, is that his name? Community. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Yeah, that's the show, guys. Does anybody know how to study? I don't know. Start making flashcards, people. Start studying those endings, people. Come see me for task if you really need to see me for task. Otherwise, go back to Google Classroom, get on that Game Kit Práctica. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos luego.